call the meeting to order. Thanks for all of you people coming tonight to be with us. We appreciate it. Thanks for you coming to be with us. We appreciate it.
Bob, if I can just start off by saying, I know there's hardly anybody here, but Mary and I just owe so much to our Reading town family. It was a really tough battle the last 8 or 9 months, and all the support, all the love, all the prayers, all the thoughts, all the food, everything that we got from everybody, it was just wonderful. And I can't thank you all enough. So it is wonderful to be back. Thanks.
That it is.
We're happy to have you.
All right. Select Board will meet in the Robinson Hall Dining Room at 6 p.m. The meeting is open to the public and be available by Zoom. I still don't see Glenn on. Changes to the published agenda. I would like to add one. F1, appointment of Memorial Day Administrator.
Oh.
Maybe. You'll understand maybe when we get there.
Okay.
Minutes of the March 10 Select Board meeting. Both of you got copies, I'm assuming.
Yep.
I will entertain a motion.
Yep, I would certainly move to accept them as written.
Second.
Right, declare them accepted as printed. Treasurer's report.
March, $17,038.38. Expenditures were $330,362.11. Balance as of the end of March is $808,998.73. Delinquent taxes owed to the town of Berlin is $44,894.04, which is down a little over $24,000 from last month. We had a couple pay off, had like 5 pay off, and I have another one that's like 10, 11, I think it was 10, 11 grand. It's supposed to be closing next week. So
What is this $95 in 2022
I'm sorry.
delinquent taxes?
That's the one up on Melvich, the trailer, the dead guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeesh.
He probably does not care.
Because
Is that the 2022 one? She said.
state. Yeah, that's the one we tried to sell that we couldn't.
Oh, that one,
That's the one.
not Malagash, Matthews.
Matthews, I'm sorry, Matthews.
Yeah, okay.
down
Okay.
Same area, different size of them. Yes, that's the one that we
Okay.
and we tried selling it, we can't because he's dead. Basically, and nobody's open in the state.
So he doesn't have any living relatives that
Oh,
we
yeah,
are aware
he
of.
has living relatives that say they own it, that
Oh.
don't, and they don't pay the taxes.
Oh.
And they
Okay.
don't, legally, they don't own it because
Huh.
they've never opened the estate, they've never taken it to probate.
Oh, jeepers. Okay.
And can that go on indefinitely? Or,
Until somebody opens an estate, John Springer had suggested that the town do it. And then we could sell it, if it came to the town through probate court. All the relatives would have to be notified. One of them I know doesn't want it at all, doesn't want anything to do with it. And I don't know that the others have the money, even though the total for the 3 years is $600 or, well, maybe a little more than interest and penalty, but.
So what do we do to get control of it?
File a petition in probate court, I believe, to open the estate for it. I think, I don't know, I I'm not a lawyer.
I guess that's where you'd start. I would agree.
Think that
Start there.
John had talked about that at one point in time, but it just kind of.
So in order to get that moving, what would we need to do?
Yeah, sounds like we need to talk to an attorney.
I can talk to Tracy.
Okay,
I'll call Tracy.
I had a guy come to the town barn one day earlier this week and wanted to know who owned it. And I said, well, the person that owns it's passed away, but there's a lady up on the corner that claims she owns it, so you can go up and talk to her. I said, what do you want it for? He says, well, I want to fix it up for my daughter. Okay.
There's no fix.
Yeah, I did not say that. I just said, okay.
Bulldozer.
Maybe that's the fix. huh?
Yeah, maybe that's a fix.
The match is the fix.
But I'll call Tracy and ask her about it,
Okay,
because Tracy's doing it stuff now, since John's not. The only other thing I have to mention, that I'm just gonna bring up now because it's my time. The library is doing the poetry school again this month, so there will be things posted here and up on the Amson barn and at Bartley Field for town buildings. Just their libraries poetry readings. They have a map. that-
it's this Saturday, right? Day after tomorrow?
It's.
Oh, no, the 12th.
He didn't say, he just said he hasn't done all the stuff together yet. Once he does, it's because he's gonna post them, he's gonna give the place out here to put where maps are to go to the different places to see what's going on.
Okay, all right.
It's like what they did last year, but I just wanted you guys to know in case you saw something hanging off the Amsterdam.
Okay. Thank you, Callista.
All right, guess I need a motion.
Motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Seconded.
All right, then.
We're all
All
right.
right then. All right, first thing up is highway status, and I do not see Glenn.
It's got a response that said nope.
He may not be able to get on. He had some problems. Anyway, it's mud season, snow season, ice season. Other than that, everything is going really well.
Other than 3 seasons all in one.
Right, one weekend.
I would just say this, the highways are in remarkable shape, which is, they're in bad shape, but they're in remarkable shape for the time of year and the amount of moisture we've had over the past week or so. We're hoping to start spreading some gravel tomorrow on some of the worst spots. Just a surface coat people can drive on without having to bounce around some of the ruts. It won't be everywhere because just not time enough, but we will get some out, we hope, tomorrow. I have from Crown Point Excavation a proposal to come to the site and crush the gravel that came up from the EWP work
Oh.
down on Millbrook, as well as a lot of the stones and stockpile material. I'll call it material. It's not all gravel, but it's not all dirt either. That came when we built the bridges in 2011. Been up there since then. People have taken some of it. We've given it away. But he said that he thought that some of that was pretty good material. So he's quoted us to crush approximately 3,000 yards of stockpiled gravel into 1-inch crushed gravel. Price per yard includes all equipment, fuel to make the products, and pile and stockpile areas on the site. $8 per yard, which I'm guessing is probably about half
Yeah, I think so.
of what we're paying from Sasasimo and the gravel pits. So I would like permission to talk to him further and get this put together so that they would come up and crush that stuff for us.
Do we have any idea how many yards we have that would be asking to crush?
3,000.
Oh, so it's 3,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give or take, but they won't
Yeah.
come and set up for much less than that because they can do like 1,500 yards a day.
Oh, wow.
Then he's also offered to clean up all the scrap metal tires and plastic culvert scrap pieces for us. The scrap metal would be hauled off-site at no charge. Proceeds from the scrap will pay trucking costs to haul scrap away, basically to Claremont. So that's freebie to us, but there is a lot of it, old
Really?
culverts and barrels and stuff like that. Then the tires and plastic culvert pieces would have to be put in a 30-yard roll-off dumpster. And Alva will take that. And I've got to call into Alva to find out. Can they recycle that stuff so that we're only paying for the dumpster delivery and pickup?
Mhm.
Or will we have to pay something? And I suspect we'll have to pay something per tire. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So that is $3,500 for that, on top of the 24.
For all the non-metal stuff.
Well, it includes
Tires,
some metal, but
plastic.
he's taking that away.
Right.
For free.
Right. So this is everything else,
Yeah,
basically, right?
Yeah.
Plastic tires.
plastic tires.
Yep.
He even offered to try to burn the pile of scrap stuff that we've cleaned up in the ditches, and stuff like that. Certainly can set it afire and see what happens, but. So I'm thinking that this would be a very positive thing for cleaning up the site up there
Mhm.
in anticipation of further possibilities.
Did they come to you or were we looking for somebody to be doing this?
Glenn and I was talking about it. The gravel came to us from Gurney's up there by Agony Hill. They delivered it up there to us as a disposal site. Glenn and I was talking about it. He had D&D come a few years ago. And they told him, well, that material over there in the bank is not worth crushing.
Mhm.
So my nephew works for this guy's partner,
Okay.
picking up Alva waste. He
Mhm.
was talking to me about it last Sunday, a week ago. And said that they had a crusher. They in fact crushed all that gravel that was over there on Route 100 behind the storage sheds. I don't know if you'd seen it. If you go down to Tyson, go left, was a huge pile of gravel over there. They crushed that. So I asked him to have Sean from Crown Point come up and talk to us. So he called us up, said he'd be up. And that's how it came about.
Gotcha.
So anyway, I don't know. He seemed pretty anxious to get going on it, but we'll see. And that's all I have for highway status. FEMA update for those of you people that are interested. There's not much to say. We have the last project other than the loan interest obligated. And then after that, it will be the administrative fees or costs that we'll submit. Next Thursday, a week from today, will be our rep's last day working with us. And he's been a good guy. We met the other lady, Monique, right? Monique, last Monday. Seems like a very pleasant lady. We've had a few emails back and forth. So we will be changing. I'm not sure that that will slow anything up because did you get that email today about getting it in by the 7th? The
Hector has that.
oh, he has it.
Okay. We sent it to him week before last. He sent it the meeting that he had.
Okay,
So
all right.
he had, he just hasn't maybe passed everything on to her yet. But he has, everything has been submitted to FEMA, including our administrative costs.
The surprising thing was they will support us with the interest payments on the line of credit.
Oh, good.
So that is winding down.
Fabulous.
Liquor license for Reading Greenhouse.
Yep, we got that. It's their yearly renewal for the liquor license, the class 2 license.
Okay.
I just need a motion.
Motion to accept the license, is that
To approve it.
to approve the license?
The license.
Second.
We have to sign that, right?
No,
Well, we don't
it's
have
all
to.
done electronically now.
Oh, that's right, yeah. All we have to do is approve it and you send it back and say,
I included it in the electronics. It says approved it, the meeting of blah, blah, blah.
okay. Good. Moving right along. Slowing right up, Reading wastewater committee.
Yes, no, this is gonna be brief. So I have advertised at this point in the FPF. Hopeful to have it in the Informer as well. I have had 2 people respond to the request to volunteer for the committee. One of them has pretty extensive experience with working with grants for development infrastructure, and that includes wastewater projects. And the other person is somebody that lives here right in the village, and that person has a lot of marketing experience. So they're very interested in joining as well.
Okay, so you're gonna. I see your notice, you're gonna try to get 5 people that are
Love
truly
to get
interested.
5,
Go
yeah.
from there,
Yeah, absolutely.
okay?
So we'll keep picking away at it, but
I got your numbers to go in.
thank you.
And just as a sideline to that, next month, May
yes.
10th, right?
That's what I was gonna say as well. Thank you,
Cool.
Robert.
No, go ahead.
Oh, that Du Bois and King will have their final presentation for us next month. So,
Which will be timely because this committee can use that to segue off from or not.
absolutely. And Jonathan Ashley has said that once we have the committee established, that he would be very happy to come and talk to them and kind of, you know, get everybody up to speed on things that they should be looking at.
But he-
Have we decided, are we going to do the final presentation during a select board meeting, or do we want to have a separate meeting for that?
I think during the select board.
Okay, yeah,
We've done them all.
right.
Yeah.
before that.
I just heard seemed like there was a little bit of discussion about that, but I wasn't sure where we landed.
But there was whether we wanted to do it early or not. But
Okay,
she and I are both gonna be out of town for up until the 19th or 20th, somewhere in that vicinity, so it doesn't leave much time with Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And everything else that's going on, so.
Yeah.
okay,
At this
And
point,
after
that's-
all this time, 1 or 2 more
I
weeks.
was
is
gonna say at
perfectly-
this point. So,
All right. Reading green space.
So I just want to give an update, for this year, it's been 7 years ago since we started the park. And at that point, it was a ad hoc, having person thing. And the first really year and a half was really designing and having fundraisers to get money, and then we became a town appointed committee of 5. And the first, I would say 3 or 4 years were a lot of work because, you know, a lot of sweat equity. We were digging things and great, you know, all sorts of stuff, plants, trying to figure out what we wanted to put in there. And it was getting furniture, moving in, moving out, all that. And at this point, it's a lot easier. It's established. It's really basically making sure it's weeded. We call lousy plants out. We replant if we have to. Water, things like that. It doesn't take that much, you know, bringing the furniture out, putting it back in. We just meet 3 times a year to talk about that. The rest of the times we meet is really for work, you know, cleaning it up in the spring and then again in the fall. And so Lisa Kaya, she resigned in February, I think, because she's just like so lazy and no, she has a lot of other things that are anyway. And at some point, I'm going to as well, because I'll be moving just a little while down the road. Not that I don't want to help, and I shall. But that leaves us 3 people on our committee. And our committee has sort of talked off and on about that, like how much do we need? Do we really need 5 people? So I guess I'm just presenting to you because it is less work. And we do have volunteers like to help us. Jim and Garrett always help us haul benches and tables and stuff like that, the heavy stuff. How you would feel about a 3-person committee? Because we sort of batted around, well, maybe we should have a volunteer group, but then a volunteer group, who makes the decisions? How do you deal with funding, things like that? So
Keep the committee.
yeah, so I think it is, I mean, you don't want to let it just go by the wayside. It's a really beautiful park and we want to keep it that way. So I guess our question is, can we move to a 3-person committee? And if we get like where there's more work and people want to join a committee, we could up it again, but just want to know how you felt about that.
Actually, moving to a 3-person committee, Annie, is very simple. We just did the exact same thing for the planning commission,
Right.
and it simply takes a motion and a vote of the board to say, all right, the green space committee will now be made up of 3 people, and they are whomever.
Mhm.
And I think that would take care of it. Doing that allows them to have a vote and have a quorum if there's only 2 people present or something like that. Same as the planning commission if you followed it on
Yes.
online.
Yeah.
So for what you have done and for what you're doing down there, probably 3 people is more than enough.
I think it really
I think
is. I
so.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much what's been this last year.
Yeah.
Us working down there. So, yeah.
So
As with any other committee, you can always have more people involved if they want to be, right? It's
Yeah,
just, it'd
exactly,
be just the
exactly.
3-member voting.
Yeah.
Exactly
Yeah.
right.
yeah, you could have as many people helping you as you wish, or assisting or consulting or doing
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
But the 3 of you would have, the 3 people would have the final say.
Great. Okay. Because we're gonna meet on Saturday, our committee. And, so I'll let them know.
So you'll get back.
Yeah.
to us.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
great.
Thank you.
That's simple.
God bless them.
Just. I don't have my town report in front of me. Who are the 3 that will be?
Oh, so it'll be Sue, Jen Doherty, and Heather Evans.
Heather Evan?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Appointment of an ethics liaison. This is something being driven by the state of Vermont. We were supposed to have one 3-4 months ago. We still don't have one, and I still don't have any issue with our ethics, but nevertheless, we're supposed to have one.
Yes.
So.
Why are you both looking at me?
No, I'm just saying. Have you 2 thought about it?
Do you want to draw straws?
No, I don't. I nominate Callista.
I don't care. It makes no difference to me because it's just a matter of having somebody's name with the state.
And then if there's a complaint, you send it to the state, they review it, and they send it back
That's basically. all
with,
it is.
with comments, I'm sure.
Sometimes not. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that they've had any yet. I haven't seen anything more on it. I was on the website the other day to see if they'd updated anything. And yeah, I don't know.
Your pleasure,
What do you-
ladies and gentlemen.
What do you think is, it seemed like you were already doing some of this stuff already, if you're sending out the whatever, the every 3-year ethics test training and stuff like that.
Yeah, and so far, you 3, me, and Vanessa have taken that. I've not sent it out to anybody else yet. Cause I was waiting to see what was gonna happen here.
So if one of us did it, then we would have to be the ones responsible for sending that out.
I don't think so.
Okay,
I think that it would only be that if there was a complaint, it would go through,
okay.
yes, is all that is. It makes more sense to have the person that's doing everything that's more familiar with it to do the whole thing, but.
So it sounds like I'm getting the vibe that you think that this should be more of a select board job than it should be a
It doesn't-
town clerk
It
job.
doesn't make any difference. I know that there are a lot of town clerks that are doing it.
Yeah.
Because the select board didn't want to.
Well, I mean, heck, if it's only having your name on there and randomly getting a complaint, nobody complain, please.
Yeah.
I'll do it. You are a bum.
I truly thought that this was more of a town clerk thing. I didn't realize that this was. You know, I would be glad to, since you have the onerous job of being the animal control officer.
You know, good job.
We have a contest going. Got two that said they'd be glad to do it.
Actually, can I nominate Annie?
You're not going to have a third one, I'll tell you that.
No, sure.
All right, so what did you two decide on?
So, in all seriousness, what is involved in the job? So is it truly just
I think it's just
when, if there is an issue, or is there, you know, are there meetings you have to go to? Are there reports you have to write regularly or anything like that?
Not that they're doing now. I mean, they may change it all, but
Yeah.
right now, that's. Right now, nobody's doing it.
I didn't get the impression when I read the information that there was anything involved other than having your name on the line.
So there is information out there, because I haven't seen.
Somebody,
Yeah, it was
the
on,
I saw the training.
it was on the
that we have.
select board, email. It
Yes.
was a while ago. Yeah, the regular, like the main select board email.
It's just a matter.
Okay.
It's a matter of having somebody's name with the state.
Yep. Okay,
and I would assume you would have to follow up for anybody that's not taken the ethics training. You or whomever.
bump somebody.
Well, it says starting January 1st, 2025, the ethics training is required for members of legislative or quasi judicial bodies, chief administrative officers, mayors, and town or city managers.
There's no consequences on not doing it, and they are not enforcing it. Because you can't get everybody to do it.
Sounds like an ethics violation.
Well, but honestly, we have all taken it. The only quasi judicial other committee would be the planning commission.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
guess.
the rest of them would not need to do that, correct?
Correct. It would be better if the chairs of all the committees did it, just
Okay.
to, so that they know how it should be, because it does affect everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just those, it affects everybody. On, not, on how to do stuff, whatever.
What it says, once you've appointed your ethics liaison, please reach out to this lady at the state of Vermont with the liaison's name and contact information. They will add the liaison to their list for future communications from the Ethics Commission.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Like future communications.
All right. Put my name down
Oh.
and I will,
Well,
No,
Appointed-
knowing that I'm going to play the, I don't feel good card at some point in the future.
I'll make a motion that Bob Hartnett will be our ethics liaison.
I'm abstaining from this vote.
so I can make a motion that Lisa Sylvester be our ethics, then you gotta vote. I won't do that. All right, so I'll second that. And good luck.
Good God, why did I come back?
I didn't read any of the fine print, Bob. So you better get this.
Oh, there's a notebook
It's
now.
a-
Great.
F1, appointment of a Memorial Day administrator. I have to be careful. My grandson offered or agreed to do this job if you so wished. Esther sent him a note the other night. Can I have Papa submit your name as the Memorial Day administrator? The reply was sure. That's it, sure. She said something else and he said, well, do I have to go to the meeting? And she said, no, you don't have to go to the meeting. And they have talked about this, obviously.
Right.
And he's very interested in history. He's very interested in cemeteries, I guess you would say that. He's been appointed to a committee for the superintendent of his high school division. Just today, he got accepted in an apprenticeship program for Corral. And I don't know what all that involves. He hasn't shared that with me. But anyway, he's a pretty outgoing young person. He's be 17 in May, but this is something where basically the job is to make sure that all the veterans have a flag on their grave
Town cemetery.
in the town cemeteries. And Esther has volunteered to help him. And he said, well, I've got some friends that will probably help too. So it's up to you two.
Oh, he's
So-
interested in doing it. I think that's wonderful.
This is an open position right now. We don't have anybody in that. position.
Correct.
Right.
Now,
This
the
This is
cemetery
not a
commissioners,
paid position, is this?
no,
No.
Otherwise, it's be an ethics violation, you know. Because I am.
no, it's a volunteer position. They have to order I guess they tell you how many flags they need and we order them.
Yeah, we have a map that we give them.
And they have a map of every cemetery.
The Kids,
doesn't-
we get all the flags for them, and the kids at the elementary school does Beltsville.
Yeah,
So
Fantastic.
it's
I
just
think
the
that's
other
great.
surrounding.
if Brody wants to do it, I think that's a fabulous idea.
Absolutely.
Motion?
It'll be short-lived because you'll be off to college in a year and a half, but
You know. Looks good on his.
What's his
resume.
name again, Bob?
Brody.
Brody Allen.
Brody Allen. Okay.
Motion to appoint him?
A motion to appoint Brody Allen as our Memorial Day coordinator.
Second.
I think it says administrator. Yeah, that's what I said when I see it.
Yep.
Just make sure he does his ethics training.
Huh?
Just make sure he does his ethics training now that he's an important person in the town, okay?
Oh, he'd love that. He would absolutely love that.
All right, I'll give him the good news and tell him to get prepared for all the paperwork that's coming his way. Other. Anybody got any other, either here or on the screen?
Jane does.
Jane,
Yes. Hi. On April 12th, we're having the first Futures Reading meeting at the library from 9 to 11. And we're going to talk about certain events that we're going to have this year. Particularly one in May where there's not a lot of details about it yet, but it will be food. We want parents with kids to come, so there'll be babysitting for kids. And we'll mostly talk about envisioning what Reading look like in about 10 years, something like that. So that's on April 12th, 9 to 11 at the library.
thank you, and thank you for your invite to myself and Esther, Jane, but we will be in Myrtle Beach.
Well, good for you. Enjoy it.
I'd also like to give everyone an update about the RCT, the Reading Community Trust. The Preservation Trust of Vermont visited the village back on March 20th, a week and a half ago, I guess. And it is solidified that on June 5th, the statewide village meetup will take place in Reading. It's been published that it's happening, but the registration for it isn't open yet, but it should be within a week or so. It's gonna happen at the school. it'll be similar to the Fall Festival, where there will be some food trucks available for the participants. It's basically going to be 4 presentations, 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. One of them for sure will be a panel of Reading residents to talk about successes in the village and pressing needs we have in the village. So Reading will be one of the presenters, and the Hall Foundation was very enthusiastic about participating, and one way or the other, they're going to be involved in it as well.
Did you say that was going to be at the school?
At the school, down in the gym, and there'll be a catered lunch for the participants, and that'll be in the parking area.
Good.
Thank you, Jack.
We're expecting about 100 people. It's open to anyone throughout the state. It's basically about needs for small villages like Reading.
Good. Any other?
I have a brief other. I have reached out to the same people that helped me last year with the senior luncheon that's going to be combined with the Reading Elementary School. I believe the date we're looking at is May 21st. It's in the very early planning stages, but we're very excited to have that fun event again.
Is that going to be here or at the school?
Well, I have not talked to Callista yet, but I'm hopeful it's going to be here. We're still throwing dates around, so
What day of the week is that? 21st?
it's a Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. or Thursday.
Wednesday
Wednesday.
afternoon.
Yeah. So we're just getting started on the work for that.
Anything else for other? Sure.
Make it
quiet. Okay, then I'd like to, we won't adjourn the meeting yet, but I'd like to move to executive session to meet with you two on a couple of employee issues.
Sounds good.
Go from there.
Andy, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for coming.
Nope, I'll throw it in the white box.